The Galactic Colosseum had witnessed countless battles across its 3,000-year history, but never had its crimson sands fallen so silent. 80,000 spectators from 100 different worlds held their breath as the human limped through the arena gates, her pressure suit torn and leaking atmosphere, blood trailing behind her like a broken promise. Arya's left arm hung useless at her side, the result of the ambush in the preparation chambers. The Crithian Syndicate had paid well to ensure she wouldn't reach the arena floor intact. They had underestimated two things: humanity's stubborn refusal to die quietly, and the bond between a creator and her creation. The arena master's voice boomed across the stadium in universal standard. The challenger has arrived, though barely. Will the human forfeit, or does she still believe she can face the champion of Andromeda? Arya spat blood onto the sand and raised her functioning hand in defiance. The crowd erupted, some in cheers, most in jeers. Humans were still new to the galactic stage, barely 2 centuries since first contact. They were small, weak, short-lived creatures who had somehow clawed their way to the stars through sheer audacity. To most of the galaxy, they were an amusing curiosity. To others, a threat that needed to be eliminated before it grew. The opposite gate groaned open, and the champion emerged. Craxus, the unyielding, stood 12 feet tall, his exoskeleton gleaming like polished obsidian under the arena lights. 4 arms, each tipped with biometallic claws that could shear through starship hulls. A veteran of 600 arena matches, undefeated, unbowed. His species, the Vortan, had been warriors when humanity's ancestors were still learning to walk upright. He crossed the arena floor with predatory grace, his compound eyes fixed on the wounded human. When he spoke, his translator rendered his clicking mandibles into mocking words. "This is what Earth sends? A broken toy? I expected the humans to provide at least mild entertainment." Arya met his gaze without flinching. "I'm still standing. That's more than I can say for the 3 assassins your sponsors sent." The crowd murmured. Assassination before a sanctioned match was forbidden by Colosseum law, but proving it was nearly impossible. Arya had no proof the bodies had been dissolved in acid, the security feeds conveniently corrupted. She had only her wounds and her words. Craxus laughed, a sound like grinding metal. "Then you die twice. Once at their hands, once at mine." The arena master raised his staff. "Combatants ready. This match is to—" He never finished. A sound cut through the stadium that turned 8,000 years of civilization into primordial memory. It was not the roar of any creature currently living in the galaxy. It was older, deeper, pulled from genetic memory and ancestral nightmares. It was the sound that had once meant death in the darkness. The hunter in the night. The alpha predator. It was a wolf's howl. From behind Arya, where her shadow should have been, something materialized. The crowd screamed. Fenrir stood 15 feet at the shoulder. A construct of human engineering and desperate genius. His frame was built from adaptive nanomaterials that rippled like living muscle beneath synthetic fur, the color of midnight. His eyes burned with plasma blue fire. And when he opened his jaws, rows of monomolecular teeth gleamed like captured starlight. But he was more than metal and code. Arya had poured 3 years of her life into his creation, had nearly bankrupted herself buying illegal AI cores from the black market, had violated a dozen galactic treaties on artificial intelligence. She had given him not just programming, but learning. Not just responses, but understanding. Not just commands, but choice. She had made him as the first humans had made the first wolves through trust, partnership, and mutual survival. Fenrir's howl ended, and when he spoke, his voice resonated through every speaker in the stadium, bypassed every translator, struck directly into the limbic system of every being present. "Who dares draw blood from my maker?" The question wasn't directed at Craxus. It was directed at the entire Colosseum, at the syndicate that had paid for the assassination, at every species that had dismissed humanity as insignificant. Arya placed her good hand on Fenrir's flank. "Easy, boy. We follow the rules. We fight fair." The mechanical wolf's head swiveled toward her, and something almost like confusion crossed his synthesized features. They did not fight fair. They hurt you. I know. Arya's voice was soft, meant only for him. But we're better than they are. We show them what humans are made of, not by becoming monsters, but by standing up every time we're knocked down. Fenrir's plasma eyes dimmed slightly, processing, learning. Then he nodded a gesture Arya had taught him, borrowed from humanity's most loyal companion. The arena master had recovered his composure. The human is permitted one companion construct, as per her contract. The match will proceed. ATSA or Y. Don 4. They or Y. The RY. D or Y. Craxus had retreated several steps, his confidence shaken but not broken. He had faced war machines before. He raised all four arms, claws extending. A pet will not save you, human. Arya smiled through bloody teeth. He's not a pet, he's family. The signal bell rang. What happened next would be analyzed in military academies across the galaxy for decades. Craxus was a master combatant, his reflexes honed through centuries of warfare. But Fenrir was something new, human tactical thinking combined with machine precision, loyalty backed by lethal capability. The Vortan champion struck first, all four arms blurring in a strike pattern that had killed hundreds. Fenrir was faster. He wove through the attacks like smoke, his adaptive frame flexing in ways no biological creature could match. When Craxus overextended, Fenrir struck not with his teeth, but with his shoulder. A calculated impact that sent the champion stumbling. Arya circled the perimeter, her tactical mind working despite the pain. She couldn't fight directly, but she could guide. Fenrir. Pattern Delta 7. He favors his lower left arm. The wolf adjusted instantly, exploiting the weakness Arya had spotted. Craxus was powerful, but power meant nothing against an opponent who thought 3 moves ahead. The match lasted 7 minutes. When it ended, Craxus lay on his back in the sand, all four arms pinned by Fenrir's weight, the wolf's jaws hovering inches from his throat. The champion could have been killed, but Fenrir held, waiting. Arya limped forward, each step agony. Fenrir released his hold and stepped back. Craxus rose slowly. His pride shattered, but his life intact. He looked at Arya with new eyes, not contempt, but respect. You could have ordered my death. Your creature could have ignored the bell, avenged your wounds. We're not here for vengeance, Arya said. We're here to prove we belong. The Vortan bowed, a gesture of profound respect in his culture. You have proven more than that, human. You have proven that your species understands something most of us have forgotten, that true strength is not the absence of weakness, but the choice of mercy when you have the power to destroy. The crowd's roar shook the Colosseum to its foundations. Some cheered for the upset victory, others for the display of humanity's strange code of honor, but all recognized that something had shifted in the galaxy's understanding of these small, persistent creatures from Earth. As medical teams rushed to treat Arya's wounds, Fenrir stood guard beside her, his plasma eyes scanning for any further threats. She rested her hand on his head, feeling the warmth of his reactor core beneath the synthetic fur. Good boy, she whispered. The best boy. In the archives of the Galactic Colosseum, the match would be recorded simply, Human Arya defeats Craxus, the unyielding, with companion construct Fenrir. But in the stories told across 1,000 worlds, it would be remembered differently. The day a wounded human and her loyal wolf taught the galaxy what it meant to be truly civilized.